Hello and welcome back, and we are going to skip completely through the box stage and go straight on to talking about number 76038, Attack on Avengers Tower from the Marvel Superheroes line. There is a lot to talk about in this one, and I rambled on long enough with the last video, and the first problem with it is that the damn thing is too tall for my bloody camera setup. Yeah, I'm just going to briefly lift the camera up and show you what I mean. Yeah, the set actually has 4 levels to it, which is very impressive, actually. But anyway, we'll get to that in a little bit. So, first thing to talk about is, really, what is this thing? The Avengers Tower is the renamed and redesigned version of Stark Tower from the Avengers movie. It is the base of operations for the Avengers. It is based... Avengers Tower, if I recall correctly, is taken more from the Ultimate continuity instead of the mainline continuity. The mainline continuity, if I remember correctly, had a mansion for the longest time, while in the Ultimates they had a proper skyscraper that they could operate out of. So this is basically a playset of the Avengers Tower, which is kind of the first issue with it, is that Avengers Tower is a skyscraper in the middle of New York, and this is not, and, well, we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's talk about minifigures first. It comes with 5 minifigures. 2 of them appear in other sets, whereas the other 3 appear exclusively in this set. So it comes with Thor, who we will not need to talk about much because Thor we've already discussed. It comes with Iron Man in the Mark 43 armor, and ordinarily I wouldn't talk much about this, but this set comes with one other feature, and that is a head of hair for Tony. Tony in this set takes his helmet off. And we will get to why he takes his helmet off in a little bit. It's the same hairpiece as the original Tony Stark had, except in black instead of brown. And yeah, not much else to say about that. I'm going to put him back to over the side. And the set comes with 3 Ultron figures. Well, 1 Ultron figure. And the first of these is Ultron Mark 1. This is the first Ultron. This is the one that builds himself in the laboratory and assembles himself from scrap pieces of various Iron Man armors, and you can definitely feel it. Once again, the printing is fantastic. There's a lot of broken details, a lot of mishmashed colors and scuffed paint. His arms are different colors. His hands are different colors. He very clearly feels like he was assembled from several junked Iron Man suits, and he has a transparent head with printing on it to evoke the feel of the hollow helmet that he has. And the printing on it is fantastic. It has a very nice jack-o'-lantern effect to it, and it's kind of creepy. Unfortunately, of the Ultron figures, this is kind of I'm not going to say it's my least favorite, because they're all really good, but it's just, it feels too cluttered, and it feels like it's missing something. If anyone remembers the single Star Wars The Force Unleashed Lego set, and I can't even remember the name of the set, it was Starkiller's personal ship. It came with a version of Darth Vader with damaged armor, and to represent his damaged helmet, it had a face piece from the Aquazone sets in black that was worn around his neck. I feel like this set would be much better if they used something similar to that to give it kind of a damaged structure effect. In fact, I'm going to briefly hit pause, and I'm going to see if I can recreate that. Hold on a moment. Arg, annoying. I couldn't find quite the right color, but I was able to find one of the translucent green pieces. So you can kind of, yeah, okay, maybe this idea wouldn't work as well, but it does kind of feel a bit like he's wearing a broken Iron Man helmet, which is what the face printing suggests, and it's part of my problem with it, is that the set comes with 3 Iron Man helmets to compare it to, and it just doesn't feel bulky enough to truly evoke a proper Iron Man helmet, as it were. It's not, like, bad. It's not a bad figure. It's just a little bit odd and kind of bugs me a little bit. But yeah, Ultron Mark 1, minor disappointment, but not terrible. And then the set also comes with these 2 members of the new Iron Legion armor. The Iron Legion is the nickname given to Tony's suits of armor from Iron Man 3. Basically, any suit of armor that isn't one of the original 7 or isn't worn directly by Tony, such as the Mark 42, is considered a part of the Iron Legion and is controlled by Jarvis. And this leads to part of the conflict of the movie when Ultron takes over the Iron Legion. Spoiler alert! They are Iron Man suits in primarily white and dark blue, which looks very nice. And then they've got some Avengers printing, or Avengers logos on them in red, which I kind of am not a fan of because they kind of mess up the lines. Otherwise, these would look like fantastic Iron Man armors, like good stand-ins for the space armor from Iron Man 3. But otherwise, these are great. These are really great little army builders, sort of pseudo Ultron Sentinel figures. They do have heads inside. They are printed heads, translucent orange with the little weird bubble printing on them. It's the same head as used in the Ultimate Ultron over here. One minor complaint is that for some reason, the helmets fit very tightly to these pieces, so it's kind of hard to take them off without pulling the head off. But does a nice job for evoking A, that the suits are unoccupied, and B, that they are being controlled by Ultron. Kind of wish that they'd just gone for transparent white instead, but whatever. So we're going to put those guys over here to be controlled by Ultron, and then let's actually, I'm just going to slide them all off to one side, and then we're going to talk about the Avengers Tower as much as I can before I have to, like, open it up and look at it. So from the outside, at least, the structure looks pretty good. It looks very much, well, it looks a lot like the actual proper Avengers Tower from Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2, what am I saying? From Avengers 2. It's not a bad job. It looks pretty good as a display piece, and it's probably how I'm going to end up displaying it. It has 3 levels, and we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. 4 levels, technically, but we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. On the inside and also in the construction patterns. And it is loaded with play features that we will talk about in short order, and I will work my way up through it as we go along. So I'm going to do a little jump cut to set this baby up. And we're back. So let's talk about play features on the outside. I've already loaded all the figures up and everything inside. Let's see, spin it around again. I do like the large amounts of curved windows on the backside. So let's see. Exterior play feature number 1 is down here on the bottom level, and we're going to scoot it just a little bit closer. As you can see, you've got the Iron Legion figures behind there. These windows drop and then slide outward to launch the Iron Legion figures. This is actually a really cool feature. I think it's a really cool feature anyway. And it's probably how Tony works. Like, he's got all these little Iron Man armors that can fly around the world and solve problems or everything. And they've got their own little launch and maintenance bay. It's very cool. And there's even room in there for another 2 minifigures if you so wished. Like, if you managed to somehow get 4 of these guys, you could put them all together on this lower level and everything would be hunky-dory. Well, kind of hunky-dory. Yeah, so that's kind of a cool feature. Nifty little thing. We're going to slide them back in there. Another feature is the windows on the top, on the middle level here. If I do this with the levers, the windows will pop out. I will talk about why that is once we go inside, but it's a nifty little thing. It's for a little explosive function. I'm kind of a fan of the explodey functions, although they do lead to construction being a little bit frail. Let's see, play features on the top level. Underneath this landing platform, there are a pair of guns. It has, like, automated guns. So clearly Tony, at least, has learned part of his lesson following the events of Avengers 1 and Captain America the Winter Soldier, and has ensured that his tower is well defended, which is good, because, well, there's going to be a fucking war going on. Pardon my language again. I'm gonna... Actually, I'm not even gonna store those guys, because they look kind of fine on their own. I'm going to lift my camera up a little bit to show off the next play feature. Okay, I'll try and keep it as steady as I can. Actually, you know what? Hold on a sec. Be right back. There we go. That's a bit better. Now my camera won't be all jerky and shaky as I'm showing off some of the features. It's not a perfect solution, but whatever. Another play feature is that the landing platform here splits and opens up. According to the back of the box, this is so that Ultron can, like, fly through it and destroy it to kind of make a sign of destroying Avengers Tower. Yeah, there's not really much else to say about that. It's a little bit weird. And then at the top here... Oh. Ooh, I knocked an antenna off. Sorry about that. I didn't even notice that. Here it is. There's a little antenna on the top here. So at the top of the building here is this little structure that actually turns around. And you may wonder, why does it do that? And the answer is because it is a turret. This little door flaps open, and it is now a energy gun turret thing complete with stud launchers, and it also has a cute little drone that shoots out. So that's a nifty little play feature, that it has this cute drone that kind of reminds me of a mobile aerial version of Wall-E for some reason. Yeah, these don't feel like stud blasters to me. They feel like eyes. And it has Stark Industries on it. Big surprise, Tony. Since your ego means that you have to put your name on everything, we know how much you want your name in lights and plastered everywhere. Anyway, so I'm going to do a quick little jump cut again, and we're going to start going up the inside of the set, as there are no more external play features that really need to be shown off, I think. I think I pretty much hit all the main features. So let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Just a moment. Oh, wait a minute, I feel stupid. I forgot to show how this works. The whole structure is hinged. It has hinges along this side. It has 2 hinges along this side. I will get back to that at a later point. So the whole structure opens like that. And then you can see the all the different rooms and the different structures on the inside, and it's all kind of cool. I will say that, unfortunately, the set does look a lot less cool when it's opened up like this, and considering... And some people might say, well, I mean, it's a playset kind of deal. I mean, what do you expect? But I did kind of expect it to look at least a little bit better when it's opened up, considering that as you are playing with it, you are most likely going to have it opened up fairly often. Anyway, I will come back shortly and we will discuss the rooms at a different level. So, at level 1, we have 2 rooms. We have the backside of the Iron Legion launching bay, which has a little fire extinguisher for Dummy to play with, and I would in fact pull out Dummy to show you if I had Dummy. And it also has a medical bay, so I'm guessing that in the aftermath of the Ultron androids busting out and breaking everything up, Tony, or at least some of the heroes, are going to get badly beaten up and are going to need to spend some time in a medical bay. Presumably, they will get beaten up more. Not much else to say. It's got 2 little drawers here that have little needles and like the hypodermic needle pieces, but yeah, not much else to say at this level, unfortunately. The launch bay is much cooler than the medical bay, as it were. And I'm going to move the camera again so that we can get a little bit higher up. Just a moment. Okay, time for level 2, and this is a bit more interesting of a level 2. On this side, we have a sort of maintenance and construction gantry, complete with 2 little moving arms and a rotating platform where Ultron Mark 1 can be assembled. This is a very cool room for a number of reasons. The biggest reason to me is that we finally have a cool place that can kind of show off Tony's armor getting assembled around him or something like that. I kind of wish there was a little bit more to it, but this is basically just to have, like, Ultron being put together. As you can see, like, the arms are holding the torso and the head and stuff like that. So that's kind of a nifty little plaything. We'll tuck that back. And then over on this side, we have a room where they are analyzing Loki's scepter. Yes, Loki's scepter. Hold on a sec. Let me try and find something. Yes. Aha. Sorry about that. There was one thing I forgot to grab to show off. So as those who've seen the first Avengers movie, as well as Captain America the Winter Soldier, and will be seeing Avengers 2, Loki's scepter was a Chitauri weapon of some sort, or rather not a Chitauri weapon, but something belonging to Thanos that had a blue gem in it. And the original Lego scepter did not have that gem. I'm not sure really why. And look, you can even show it off with Loki here. I can even show off Loki here. The scepter more in Lego form more resembled Gungnir, Odin's staff, and the one that Loki used for a while at the end of the original Thor movie. In this case, though, they have changed the design of the staff slightly for the movies, presumably because it has now been revealed that the scepter has one of the Infinity Stones in it, and that it is much more important to the plot. So it is the same Egyptian staff with a dark blue gem in it. Not much else to say about it, but it does look nice. I kind of wish that they'd use like a rounder, one of the dark blue bulb pieces instead of the dark blue gems, because I feel that more closely resembles the movie's staff design, but whatever. And it has a little mounting place where they can study it, and according to the box and the story of the set, one of the Iron Legion figures is supposed to steal it. So, yeah, there's that. And it has a little holographic display where they're scanning the staff and stuff like that. Yeah, not much else to say about that. Moving on to the next level. So now we are at level 3. Level 3 has... I'm going to kind of call it one room, because based on what we've seen in the trailer, I'm going to pull Thor out of the way. So, one side of the room has this holographic display thing with a central thing labeled Ultron Project, so presumably this is the main control console for the Ultron system. And if you move this panel here, there's a gun hidden back there, so that's kind of a nifty little feature. And then on this side, we have sort of a meeting kind of area, and the couch has a little hinge in it, so the couch actually flips up, and there's another one of the ADU blasters hidden inside of it, which is kind of interesting, and makes me wish that this set came with one other figure. It makes me wish that this set came with a... damn it, what was her name? Maria Hill. That the set came with Maria Hill, because that feels like a more Maria Hill-esque thing to do, as opposed to the box art, which shows Thor going to grab the blaster, and is kind of weird, to say the least, because Thor using a gun does not feel very in character, especially in the movies. So yeah, the reason I'm going to call this one room as opposed to the other ones, which feel more like two rooms that just happen to be docked next to each other, is because in the trailer we see that the main meeting area of the Avengers that leads out onto the landing platform is actually this big multi-level room and stuff like that. So I'm going to say that this top level is one room, and then I'm going to close up the structure. Actually, I'm going to leave the structure open so that I can pull the figures out, and we can talk about the set overall as soon as I come back. Be back in a little bit. Oh, just really quickly, one thing I'd like to mention is that I do like the little detail of the wine glasses set around the little meeting area up top here. Because, after all, Ultron interrupted them in the middle of the party, which makes me a little bummed that there isn't at least one more Avengers figure, so it feels more like the Avengers got interrupted while they were having a party, as opposed to Tony and Thor got interrupted while having a drinking contest to see who could outdrink the other. And my other complaint about this level I will bring up in a little bit when I talk about the set as a whole. Anyway, bye. And we're back to talk about the set as a whole. And this set is kind of interesting to me because I kind of feel like it's being pulled in several directions, if that makes sense. On the one hand, it wants to be a play set. It wants to have lots of little things for kids or adult fans of Lego to play with, and on that hand, it kind of succeeds. Like, it's got all the different rooms, it's got all the different kind of nifty features and stuff like that, it's got all the exploding bits and stuff like that. On the other hand, it also wants to be a display piece. It wants to be something that you can kind of put on your shelf, and you've got an Avengers Tower, and it kind of sort of succeeds on that. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel like it only really does the playset part of it well. The rest of it feels like it's kind of been compromised by the need to be both display and playset. Like, just as an example, the fact that through all of the windows you can see all of the individual rooms, which kind of ruins the feel of this as, say, a skyscraper. On the other hand, and, you know, some of the playset features, while they're cool, like the launching area for the Iron Legion is very cool. The assembly area for Ultron or the scanning area for the Scepter are kind of cool, but, like, the medical bay is kind of bland, and I'm sure that's going to turn out to be a very important scene in the movie, but here it just feels like something sort of tacked in, like, oh crap, we need something to put in this room. What do we do? Let's put a medical bay. Don't know why I'm playing with that. And the top level, while the top level kind of feels the most like what we've seen of the tower in the movie, the fact that the outside of the set is supposed to be the display piece, while the inside of the set is the play set, means that the open level at the top kind of tries to do both and doesn't do very well. Like, it's got the nifty couch and stuff like that, and, like, all these little tables and stuff like that, but they're trying to compromise. It's kind of the best way to describe this set. It feels like it's a compromise between trying to give the adult fans the set that they want, like this Avengers Tower set, and that it's giving the kids the play set that they want. And as a result of a compromise, no one is probably going to be very excited about this. I don't really see many kids kind of wanting this set, especially compared to something like the Hulkbuster or the Quinjet or something like that. I mean, maybe they'll want it, but this does feel like it's more the sort of set... This is going to sound weird. This kind of feels like the last set in the line that you would pick up. Like, the hero characters are doubled in other sets. You can get Iron Man, you can get the Mark 43 Iron Man in any other, in like 2 other sets, and Thor comes in a different, much cheaper set that has vehicles in it that might appeal more to a kid. And Ultron Mark 1 just kind of isn't as cool as the other Ultron figures, and I don't think he'd last very long in the movie before he starts upgrading himself. And the Iron Legion suits are just kind of, I mean, they're really cool, but there's no, like, immediate need to own one of them, if that makes sense. And another reason this set doesn't work for me as a play set is the issue of stickers. Yes, they are the bane of my existence, and especially in this set, because this set, and I counted, has 25 stickers. That is a 2 followed by a 5. I cannot remember a LEGO set that I have personally assembled that has more stickers than that. And they were fiddly stickers. Like, there's tiny little stickers in the window, and there's, like, 3 separate keyboard stickers. Like, the Ultron control board takes 6 stickers. The Avengers logo is 4 stickers on this side, and 5 stickers on this side. There is a massive amount of stickers in this set. And a lot of them are kind of fiddly, and I think that, I don't think that kids would have a problem with them, but I do think that they might get a little bit frustrated with it. And yes, I understand it's to keep costs down and stuff like that, and incidentally, this is a $60 set. Ouch! There's no other way to describe this. This set does not feel like it is $60. It feels like $50 at most. It feels like $50 at most, and closer to a $45 set, and maybe it's because I'm old and I remember sets having more stuff in them. But, yeah, this is a $60 set. This is the second most expensive set in the line. And it really doesn't feel like it. And that's part of the reason why I put off getting it until now, is that there's only one set that I kind of felt more disappointed about, and considering that I've reviewed 5 of these things so far, I'm willing to bet you can guess what that last set is. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still a good set. Like, none of the sets I've reviewed so far have actually been legitimately bad. And I kind of knew what I was getting into this, as opposed to the Quinjet, where I was, like, super excited about it, and then I compared it to the old Quinjet, and then I was like, now I feel kind of sad about this. Yeah, the Avengers Tower, it's not a bad set. I mean, it's kind of a nifty playset, and it's got lots of stuff going for it. Unfortunately, I don't see myself playing with a lot of those features. I kind of see this finding a spot on my shelf and just sitting there as a sort of Avengers Tower stand-in. And for that matter, I don't even know, like, what this big structure on top is supposed to do. Like, how well does that correlate to the movie? I mean, we won't know for another month or two. I mean, it's not a bad set, and the outside of it certainly captures the feel of Avengers Tower, to the point that I kind of want to see if it's possible for me to make a little Grand Central terminal to go with the base of it. But yeah, I think that's kind of my problem of it. That's kind of my one-word summary of this set. Compromise. It is a compromise between wanting to have a nifty display piece and having a nifty playset, and as a consequence, it kind of doesn't do either super well. It does them adequately. This is an adequate set. Oh, and another thing about this is construction on it was a bit fiddly, because a set this big, somewhat surprisingly, it only has 2 hinges, one here and one here. So when I was constructing it, until I got to this level, the whole thing felt very fragile. Like I was going to snap the hinge at any moment, and it was also a little bit fiddly to put together. These, the panes on this side in particular it didn't feel very stable as I was constructing it. Yeah, that's kind of it. It's a compromise between two different desires. It doesn't do either well. The features of one side intrude on the features of another side. It's not a bad set, but it's one that I'm not going to say you need to get immediately. That is still Hulkbuster, Iron Man vs. Ultron, and the Quinjet set is still number 3 on my list out of the 5 of these I've reviewed so far. Would I rate this higher than the Hydra Buggy set? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that set is still better, mainly because it's much cheaper. Yeah, again, $60 for this set, it feels a little bit much, especially since it's only like 500 pieces or something like that. Though I don't feel as ripped off as I do about the Quinjet set, but part of my problem with the Quinjet set was that I immediately compared it to the original Quinjet set, and the only set I really have to compare this to is the Hulk's Helicarrier Breakout set, and I do not remember the details of that set as well, because that set was... Yeah, let's be honest, the only reason anyone bought that set is for Hulk. No one bought that set for any other reason. That was the only set that Hulk came in, and Hulk certainly isn't in this set. Actually, now that it occurs to me, I wish this set had come with a Bruce Banner. This is the set that should have come with a Bruce Banner minifigure. Because then, I mean, I don't know what he would do in this set, because presumably under an attack situation he would Hulk out. It would be kind of cool to see Bruce Banner in this set. I feel like he should have been in this set. Of any of the other sets, if anyone was to come with Bruce Banner, it would be this one. But there's no Bruce Banner in this set, and that makes me a little bit sad. There is no Bruce Banner in any of these sets, and that makes me kind of sad. Oh well. So yeah, Avengers Tower, adequate set. Not the best in the world. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. This is Maniac J signing off and reminding you to always play well. Later.